I appreciate that question because I think there's a lot that does that. First of all, I'll repeat, I'm an engineer, I'm data driven. I don't make decisions unless I have some personal knowledge. I don't interpret personal working knowledge as every last detail. I interpret it as enough understanding to be able to properly question and comment. I don't take any positions on headlines. Headlines are oftentimes distracting unless you do the homework to dig down in and get the data, and take a look at what's really being said. You'll find that I also have a very strong process discipline. I had every function that's in the town of Oro Valley reporting directly to me in some of the larger operations I manage in my business career. So I have some expertise in all of those functional areas. I know the power of the empowerment of folks that are involved in the enterprise. And what I mean by that is, take budgeting for instance. We need to be proactive in our budgeting. It's not a bad thing to ask for data, to look for data, and if you don't get the capability of doing it all on your own, hiring someone would be kind of another almost last resort, but you have to make a case for it. But if you can have people question their day-to-day activity in sense of value added or cost versus value, the connection is obvious. If every employee of Oro Valley does that, guess what? There's a connection to them personally. It ensures they're going to have a job in 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's spending money without knowing the detail behind it and the value for the dollars is what you do every day in your personal life. You don't walk into a car dealership and take the car that you looked at and say, I'm taking that one.
Dr. Hartman.
Thank you. Basically exactly what Pat just said, except I did it. I was your mayor for the last 4 years in the worst recession in the history of the United States, and I led us as mayor from a $3 million deficit to a $1.7 million surplus, in addition to the roads you drive on, the education opportunities that your grandkids may have, the public safety, ranked #1 because that's what you mandated. You wanted to be the safest community in the state of Arizona. Well, we found funding in order to reflect your values and your wishes. I've created those relationships. So my advantage over Pat Straney is that there's no learning curve with me. Regardless of how fast a learner you are, you're still going to have to start from step 1. I've already walked the walk. I've talked the talk. And the other thing, too, is that I'm not divisive. Again, I started to give an answer to civility, integrity, and teamwork. Well, both of these gentlemen have either said or implied that they will not be involved with special interest group. So I challenge you. How ironic is it that somebody who's running on civility calls somebody a special interest group? By calling somebody special interest, isn't that uncivil to begin with? And you talk about teamwork. The teamwork, it's implied when you elect your officials that we're going to get along. But my priority is not to shut you guys out and figure out how we work better. We've already done the heavy lifting. We've done the hard work. There are 4 of us up here who's responsible for the quality of life that you have now than when we took office in 2010. And that's the advantage that I bring to you, is that there is no learning curve, and I am poised to go ahead and continue our remarkable progress.
I've been a volunteer and leader in this community for over a decade, sponsoring and fostering programs for youth that fueled my desire to serve the community. I have those leadership skills. I've demonstrated those leadership skills. I'm a good listener. I'm a good facilitator. I am so proud to be part of a council, and I cannot underscore this enough, that without a primary or secondary property tax, we guided through policy decisions and budget allocations the town of Oro Valley through the worst depression they've seen since their incorporation in 1974. Inheriting a $3 million deficit, turning it to a surplus of a $1.7 million in just 3 short years, that is phenomenal. We set the policy and the guidance. We have the town staff that can carry it out. We have excellent town staff. We do plan. Our planning is long, it's arduous, and it is thorough. We have a strategic plan, a general plan that we tie all our decisions to. We follow the founding guidelines and the general plan as requested and required. The work that's been done in this community through this recession, and I bet you didn't notice much of a drop in service, that is to be given recognition to our incredible town staff who supports you every day. Don Bristol.
Well, one thing I will bring is a special interest, because the citizens are my only special interest. If that's a lack of civility, I can't help it. That's my special interest group. And also, bring the discipline of team training and team facilitating. Nothing happened because of the people up here. It happened because there was a whole team. There was a team of 7. There was a team of staff members behind them. I can't make anything happen in this town alone, and neither can anyone else. It takes a lot of people to make things happen in this town. That's why it's so important to understand the dynamics of teams and how to facilitate teams. So I can bring that to the party from my long training and experience. Also, I am a planner. I've come before the council many times on expressing my opinions on things, but I don't go there without first looking at the general plan, looking at codes, looking at ordinances, plus verify what I'm saying by documenting it with legitimate sources. So that's the type of quality of work you need done in this town as you move forward. You want to make sure you're getting sound decisions made by taking all possible inputs. And that's listening. And listening is more than just, yeah, I hear you. Listening is asking questions, understanding what it is, and some reaction to what you're told. And that was part of my training also, and I do that. So those are some of the major things I try. There's a lot of others, but my time is running out, so I'm going to cut it there.
Joe Hornet.
What distinguishes it? Well, I don't have any hair. They do. Thank God this isn't a beauty contest, I'll say that. I think one of the things that distinguishes everybody who's on council today is the fact that we are a listening group. I think the team that's on council right now, the 4 of us, have pulled Oro Valley ahead of where it would have been otherwise. We've had a certain sense of continuity. We've been fair. We continue to be fair. We continue to listen to citizen input. We put the things in place that allow that input to be meaningful. As far as special interest groups, every one of us is part of a special interest group, whether that's based on age, religion, weight, all the things that are important. You know, I'm going to say this out loud. Your homes supposedly were built by special interest groups. You wouldn't be here if there wasn't a special interest group called developers. Doesn't mean you treat them any different, but they are a special interest group. What's important on council is to take those things called special interest groups, put that aside and say, are we going to deliver to the people of Oro Valley the quality of life that they want to continue? And that's what we're here to do. We've done it. We'd like to continue to do it. Having said all of that, I still sink up to my knees when I try and walk across my pool. Thank you.
Blue Water.
I'm a better dancer. I'm a journalist of the old school, the one that operated under the guidelines presented to us by, who's the guy that did the air raids over London? Edward R. Murrow. Our job is to illuminate, educate, or inspire, otherwise it's all lights and wires in a box. And it's a little more difficult for me because I'm a kind of a quiet guy. I'm an introvert, but introverts can be leaders too. And I know a lot of things that some of them I can't even talk about because, you know, I can't be a council person, elected official, and a journalist. But I can be a journalist who is an elected official and keep watch on things. Sometimes I can drop back and help mitigate the situation, help hold something off while tempers are hot, so that we can achieve what is the ultimate goal. None of us here, this election isn't about us, it's about Oro Valley. That's our special interest and will continue to be. And all we need to do is do it all together. We need to come together and do it together. I'm proud to have worked with the mayor and Joe and Mary. It's the only colleagues on the town council I've ever been a part of. But it was difficult for me to cross over that line from journalism to politics, because politics to me are often unnecessary, and mostly in the case of some of the things we squabble about here in Oro Valley. On developers, I'd like to say some of them live in Oro Valley and they'd like to be centric too.